Hey, how's it going, fellow treasure seekers? It's Josh Thomas here from TheBitBlock.com to take you through the treacherous world of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for the Wii U. Does this little guy's first solo adventure shine brightly? Well, let's find out. This is a puzzle game. Unlike Super Mario, our brave little hero Captain Toad isn't really too nimble. His backpack is much too heavy for him to even jump around. Instead, Captain Toad uses his determination and wit to conquer these diorama-like puzzle worlds. The goal for every puzzle is pretty simple. Just find your way to the star and grab it. While the goal is simple, getting there is naturally where the challenge comes into place. Captain Toad isn't really much of a fighter, so when you spot an enemy, you have to run away from them. In that regard, it's a bit like Treasure Tracker has some stealth elements in the gameplay. There are, however, little sprouts that you can find in the ground, and if you pluck them, you can find all sorts of things. There's coins, mushrooms, keys that will unlock doors, and even turnips, just like in Super Mario Bros. 2. Those turnips end up coming in pretty handy because you can toss them at foes to knock them out. Naturally, every great explorer will tell you just how handy a pickaxe can be. Captain Toad uses this power-up to break down blocks in his way and find hidden secrets. It's pretty satisfying to use this thing. I mean, this little guy kind of goes nuts with it. Each stage is different in size, some of them are pretty small, and you can see the entire stage at once, while others can be a bit larger and have more room to explore. There's a whole bunch of gameplay concepts, and every stage seems to offer its own ideas. In Shoot Scoop Slopes, there are a bunch of slides for you to slip down. Briny Bowl Swimming Hole is a big cube of water that you have to go diving into to find switches. Clear Pipe Puzzleplex challenges you to navigate a tricky series of twisting pipes. Up and Down Desert is all about hitting switches on the ground to raise and lower platforms, and Poison Canal Cannon Run is loaded with cannons to shoot out of and avoid the swamp below. The game does take advantage of some gamepad functionality too. For one thing, simply moving the controller around will adjust your camera, which definitely does come in handy. There are also some on-rails minecart stages where you move around the gamepad to take aim and shoot turnips. Some stages also have little propeller platforms that require you to literally blow on the gamepad screen to move them around. And these touch blocks can only be moved when you tap them on the gamepad touchscreen. There are also spinny wheels that you turn on the gamepad to move platforms. And of course, you can also touch enemies with your finger to stop them from moving, which comes in very handy at times. Overall, I really like the little bits of gamepad functionality. They add a lot more to the overall experience. In fact, I kinda wish there was even more. The worlds may be small, but Treasure Tracker has some incredibly beautiful visuals. The level of detail in texture work, material shaders, animations, and lighting is superb. This is a very colorful and inviting game, and each puzzle has its own visual identity. Sunshine-filled tropical beaches, dark and spooky haunted mansions, scalding hot lava wastelands, mysterious forest filled with fireflies, which, by the way, this one is my favorite. I mean, look at this. Oh, it's pretty gorgeous. Hey, you could also be high up in sky cloud meadows, or hot and steamy sand temples. Trust me, there's just tons of variety here. Also, I can't help but point out just how crazy cute Captain Toad and Toadette are. Look at this little guy. Ah, his charm levels are totally maxed out. Everything is just brimming with personality. The Toad Brigade theme song is quite literally impossible to avoid whistling along to. In fact, a lot of the music in this game has a really catchy beat to it, so don't be surprised if a couple bits of music get stuck in your head. In fact, the music you're hearing right now behind me is actually one of my favorite pieces of music in the entire game. It's very otherworldly and has a calm, mysterious vibe to it. And you know what? Let's not forget the adorable squeaks that come from Captain Toad himself. His sound effects really do add a lot to his character. Overall, the game has a very nice soundtrack, and it definitely has a few tracks that really stand out. Treasure Tracker has over 80 puzzle stages to complete. In every stage, you're challenged to not only collect the star, but also find and collect 3 diamonds that are hidden somewhere in the diorama. Every one of these stages also features a secondary objective. You'll definitely have to replay most of the stages, I think, at least twice, if you're going to be looking to 100% complete them. Some examples here would be completing a stage with at least a certain amount of coins, avoiding defeating any of the enemies in a world, which can be way more tricky than it sounds, find and collect a secret gold mushroom, or Even stuff like complete a stage by only using a certain amount of touches on the touch blocks. And then there are also some bonus challenges here as well. You can play through a handful of stages from Super Mario 3D World, but, of course, as Captain Toad. So this means navigating the stages is quite different. You'll have to take pipes and ladders to make it through them, because of course, Captain Toad can't jump. Honestly, I don't really like these stages. They weren't designed for Treasure Tracker's gameplay, and they just kind of feel slow and boring compared to the actual dioramas. So yeah, the game has a decent amount of replay value. It should definitely keep you busy for a while, especially if you're looking to 100% complete it. Having said that, I do wish there was some co-op here. I mean, you get to play as both Captain Toad and Toadette, but there's no two-player puzzles. It's a bit of a missed opportunity, I think. Alright, so Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is just full of charming, bright, addictive fun. There's loads of variety here, and it's nearly impossible to not have a big smile on your face while you're playing. The game is a little bit on the easy side, and there really weren't many times when I found myself struggling to solve any of the puzzles. I think the real challenge here comes from trying to do everything in every single stage. And you know what? Considering this is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, I am a little bit disappointed that literally half of the time, you play as Toadette. You know, I like her as a character, but being forced to play as her so much did get a little bit annoying for me as somebody who truly adores Captain Toad himself. It's also worth pointing out that this game really only has 2 boss battles, but they keep reusing them and slightly altering how they play. Dragodon is a big dragon in a lava-filled cave, and you have to make your way all the way to the top to eventually nab the star. And Wingo is a giant bird boss who forces you to climb up a big tower, at which point you then toss giant turnips at her to save your fellow Toad friend. These are really fun, kind of brilliantly designed boss battles, and I love them, so I just kind of wish the game had even more characters to fight against. So, to put it simply, I really think Treasure Tracker is an adventure that Wii U owners definitely don't want to miss out on. Hey, thanks for watching this video from TheBitBlock. If you want to stay up to date on tons of exclusive Nintendo content, be sure to subscribe by clicking here. And if you don't want the fun to end, you can check out more Nintendo coverage by clicking over here.